I ran a kilometer for every goal that was scored last game week of the Premier League just because I missed my long run on the weekend. So my wife decided to challenge me when there was an international break, but the challenge definitely didn't seem as simple as I thought it would be, with 3 rules that I had to follow, and if I was unable to, I had punishments waiting for me, one of them being the box, which seemed terrifying as apparently it was every runner's kryptonite. Anyways, I accepted the challenge to show that this was a piece of cake, but I didn't expect all of this mess to happen. So, enough yapping, let's get into what the rules of the challenge are.
Rule number 1. I either need to know the scoreline of the game, or I need to know a player who scored in the game. Rule number 2. I need to know where the club currently stands in the Premier League ranking. In the top 10, so in the upper half of the league, or in the lower part of the league, 11th and going down. So down to the 20th. And finally, for the 3rd rule, my pace has to be kept at a minimum or maximum at 5:45 pace. If I go above that, then again it goes to the punishment. Yeah, let's get started. All right, so first kilometer, off we go. So the first scoreline, Chelsea versus Fulham. I know the scoreline was 2-0 for Chelsea, and a goal scorer was Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea is in the upper part of the league. I think they're 3rd or something, and Fulham is in the lower division. So I'm gonna check that after the 2 kilometers, see if I'm right, and hopefully I can keep my 5:45 pace. Let's go. 4:35 for that pace. I don't think I'm pacing it that well. I need to slow down. I have another 27 kilometers to go, so man, I need to chill out.
But I didn't chill out. I kept running way too quick and was using all my power in the first 2 kilometers. So having realized I needed to preserve energy or I would be stopping the challenge after just 5 kilometers, I was on to the next game of last week's game week.
First 2 kilometers is over. I was going way too quick and I'm sweating like crazy already. I really need to chill out. But now we're going to move on to United, and as you can see, I should get that actually right pretty easily. So you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to continue my run, resume, and answer this casually. So United 1-3-2. The goal scorers of that match was an own goal, Mbuemo, however you say his name correctly,
Brian Mbumo.
Of course, Bruno Fernandes clinching the game in the 96th minute with a penalty. I'm very confident about that. United is in the top half of the Premier League. I know they're in 9th, and I think Burnley, I have to check, but I think Burnley is in the lower half. Now, all that matters is 5k. See you in a bit. Getting weird looks. I just heard a family say it's that guy again, running through the same loop for the 3rd time. So yeah, that's great.
But I didn't have time to care, I had to keep going.
So that's 2 goals for the game that I've just run. 4, now it's the Mbuemo goal. The goal which is scored for United to go 2-1 up. Let's go. 5 kilometers I came by in 5:37. That's kind of the pace I should be aiming for. I want to be able to do the next 23 kilometers sustainably. I can only feel a slight twitch in my left leg, which is not a good sign when I have another half marathon to go. But at least I know I'm doing these kilometers for United. Go United! Hello. Now, it's my last kilometer before I go into the next challenge. Right now, my last split was a 5:31, which is still way too quick. But I also just realized I didn't park correctly, so I hope when I return to my car, I don't have a parking ticket. And as you can hear from the way I'm speaking, it is slowly getting to me. I'm struggling. Okay, I'm just about to finish up the first 7 kilometers, so the first 2 games this weekend. This goal was a penalty that Bruno Fernandes scored, the 90th minute deciding penalty, but I can already feel the rain coming in. It's starting to rain, I can feel the droplets. And yeah, another at least 2 hours to go. I hope it doesn't rain too strong, but yeah, let's see how it goes. Okay, the last kilometer I hit a 5:27, but it's really starting to rain now, which I'm not liking, but I need a quick water break from my car anyways, and then I'll do the next challenge. Let's check if there's a parking fee. Parking fee? No. Let's go. Okay, good. Yahoo! But anyways, the next game was Sunderland against Brentford. Now I know Sunderland have been on quite a good run, and I know that they beat them 2-1. However, Sunderland against Brentford goal scorer. Okay. Johan Wissa? Maybe Johan Wissa scored? I really don't know. Sunderland is in the top half and Brentford is in the bottom half, I think. My splits are fine, so let's check if I have to do a punishment. Oh my god. Lefebvre, Isidore and Thiago scored, so... Oh no.
And so the first punishment was upon me. I had to check, I opened the box, and boom, I saw what my punishment was. For every wrong answer, I had to run an extra kilometer.
Oh, that is insane. For the 2-1 win, I'm going to have to run another extra kilometer.
But yeah, then afterwards I realised it's not even that bad to run an extra kilometer as a punishment. So I wasn't really that mad at my wife. But man, what I really wanted to avoid was the box. Man, that would just proper ruin me. Like 2 envelopes, you know, that's okay, that's cool. But that box, kept thinking, man, there must be something horrible in there if my wife is to say it's runner's kryptonite. So yeah, I was proper scared. And it didn't make it any easier that my legs were starting to tire. But I pushed through and I completed kilometer 8, 9 and 10.
Now on to my punishment kilometer. So yeah, I completed my punishment. The next game is Tottenham against Bournemouth. Now I know Bournemouth won 1-0. Ooh, but the goal scorer. Who was the goal scorer? I saw the notification pop up. I think it's Evan Nielsen. What side of the league they're on? In the top 10 or in the 10 to 20? I think Bournemouth, because they just won. I think they're in the upper half of the league. Tottenham though, I think they're in the upper side as well because they won on the opening day, right? So I'm going to say that they're both up there. So I'm going to go to the car and I'm going to have a look if that's right.
And yeah, I was right. Evan Nielsen had scored that weekend and I was right where both teams were in the league. So I didn't really have to worry about anything. And so I was able to crack on with my punishment kilometer. And while I was doing it, think about the upcoming game.
Okay, Jack Grealish got 2 assists. The fans then hugged him and didn't let go of him. So they must have won. So now they won 3-2. But who was the goal scorer? Let me check. I forgot my own rules. I either need to know the scoreline of the game, or I need to know the player who scored in the game. Game, baller. Okay, so rule number 1, I got. Rule number 2 though, Everton and Wolves. Wolves and Everton. I don't think Everton is doing too well. I think Everton is in the bottom half of the league. I think Wolves are as well. So let me have a look.
And yeah, I almost got it there, but yeah, big emphasis on the almost. So yeah, you know what's about to happen.
Oh, that's another punishment.
And so yeah, it was the second punishment of the challenge. And so yeah, I checked the second envelope while struggling to take out the challenge itself. But finally it revealed, for every wrong answer, I had to do 10 push-ups after every kilometer.
Brother. It says without pausing the time, but that is basically impossible, so I can't do that. I'm already now struggling. And I have to run extra kilometer for the wrong answer, and they won 3-2, so that's 6 kilometers equaling 60 push-ups. Brother,
this guy stinks!
And so yeah, it was time for me to lock in on my Rocky mode and start straight away with the push-ups.
That's first 10 push-ups done. I need to run 6 kilometers, so that's 6 kilometers that I have to do now. I already did 10 push-ups, so all right, I'm just gonna start the watch again.
But yeah, at least it wasn't the box set, which I was really happy about avoiding. So yeah, I was glad to keep it moving. Also, I realized that after completing 1 kilometer, it was impossible to run at 5-minute 45 pace, including 10 push-ups. So yeah, I had to just give up on that because that was crazy. But anyways, I still tried to keep my pace up and go as fast as possible because I saw a storm brewing, but I still continued running after completing my push-ups. Also, as you can see, it started getting darker and darker, and of course this affected the quality of the camera as well.
It is now 8 o'clock. God damn. And I hope you just saw that. It just started, lightning just came out. So yeah, that's great. And I can see over there a massive storm is brewing. And I'm still only at 16 kilometers.
12 seconds later.
Now it's lightning like crazy. I'm still gonna continue. It hasn't started raining fully yet. Oh, now it has. Great timing. Fantastic. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah, I basically have to call it quits now. I literally got a storm warning and a warning that it is lots of lightning going on, so if you want to quickly look out, and I'm at 16 and a half kilometers. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put it quick for the day, and I'm gonna have to continue tomorrow. I'll try and continue my run then.
And so the next day when I woke up, man, my legs were tired. And when I had to go to work, man, I felt like abandoning the challenge straight away. And my mind was telling me to stop. But then I remembered something that David Goggins said.
Shut the fuck up, you fat, gay, transsexual.
And Goggins' speech had motivated me to get into my Washed United shirt, by the way, and restart the challenge. I wasn't going to abandon this challenge halfway through and not let the weather stop me, and so I headed back with determination and starting the challenge again from the start, from point zero, including the punishment kilometers as well as the push-up challenge.
Oh man, off we go again. Let's get to 18k and I'll see you there.
But right after completing this kilometer, I already felt a bit of pain in my right knee, and worst of all, I developed a stitch and I was struggling to breathe for the coming kilometers. But at least in classical Swiss fashion, as I didn't have that many supporters, the cows decided to come out and motivate me for the restart of this challenge to get my mind off the amount of kilometers that I had left to run. Yet the stitch was still here, and the realization that I was still only completing kilometers for the goals that were scored in the second game of the Premier League last week was daunting. And as you can see from this amazing camera angle, I was starting to get exhausted. But at kilometer 8, I had started feeling better because I was able to regulate my breathing, acclimatizing to the run and feeling good with the sun out, hoping there wouldn't be a storm that would ruin my challenge for the second time in a row.
Okay, I've just done 9 kilometers, halfway through of the distance that I need to do until I get to the next challenge. Woo.
Now I only had a kilometer left until I had to start doing push-ups again. And I kept going on to kilometer 13, but of course, if it's not the weather or the punishments, I was facing other problems.
But my GoPro just broke, which is amazing, so I need to figure out how the hell I'm going to continue filming this video. I guess I'll just do it on my phone. But yeah, I think the quality is a bit better on this one because you see how much I'm sweating. That was my 13th kilometer, so I have another 3 to go until the challenge really starts.
So I did another kilometer, hoping by the time that I had completed these push-ups, my GoPro would be working again.
So yeah, no battery in the GoPro, so I'm gonna see if I can solve this. Anyway, I'm on kilometer 14, heading into 15 now. Alright, just completed kilometer 16, so I'm at the same spot where I was yesterday. Another 2 kilometers to go, that means another 20 push-ups to do. Actually, it's another 120 push-ups to go if I don't hit the box. So I'll continue my run now. See you in a bit. Alright, so I just completed 18 kilometers now, which means I am further than I am yesterday in the challenge, that's for sure. There is no storm, which is also good, which means I should hopefully be able to finish the challenge today on my second attempt. Anyways, yes, the other game that we're coming up to is Brighton against Man City. I know Erling Haaland scored there, but Brighton still went on to win 2-1, so I know the score. That means it's 3 kilometers. The second thing is, where in the table are they? City have lost 2 games, so I'm probably pretty sure that they're in the lower half, and I think Brighton are as well. They didn't have the greatest start to this season either. No kilometer that is under 5 minutes 45 seconds, so yeah, I guess I can go right into doing some push-ups. Just realized how smooth that was. Man, I only have 10 kilometers now left to run. Hopefully I really don't have to activate the box, and I should be fine. I should get over this. With a GoPro down, my legs down, 34 kilometers completed in total in the challenge so far. So yeah, now I'm doing the next 3 with the push-ups, which you can see here. And yeah, the next game in sight.
And so I pumped out the next 3 kilometers, and I was struggling to film, as you can see in the footage. Even the cows knew they weren't looking fly anymore, so they left.
Next up is Nottingham Forest against West Ham. West Ham, I know they won 3-0 because I was making a video on one guy, so that came up. So I know that Lucas Paqueta scored, as well as Jarrett Bowen. On top of that, West Ham is at the bottom half of the league, and Nottingham Forest is 10th in the league. So yeah, and I've kept all my splits under 5:45, so I do not have to do the box. And I only have 2 more games to go. So yeah, I'm nearly done. It's getting really dark around here,
So yeah, I'm gonna have some water and an apple now, and then it's back on the road.
It was getting really dark really fast, but that didn't stop me from completing my push-ups, and even though I was running in the dark except for the one lamppost, I was able to navigate myself through the terrain.
It's completely dark now, you can't see 1 kilometer left to go, and I think I'll just attach it because it's the Liverpool 1-0 win against Arsenal. Szoboszlai, who scored a killer free kick. Obviously both teams, I think, even in the top 5. Arsenal maybe second, lol, and Liverpool I think is first because they've won every game so far this season. So I'm just going to attach it to this and then get to the final game of today. Woohoo! Man, nearly done.
Being 23 kilometers down, having completed 2 punishments, I think I need to give myself some props for how smooth that was. But maybe this was also due to the finish line finally being in sight.
Okay, I just completed 24 kilometers. That means I have another 4 to go. I already told you about the Arsenal one. So here I'm going to do push-ups, Szoboszlai's free kick goal. We move into kilometer 25. Come on.
Now it was pitch black. I had been running for over 2 hours at this point, and I could really feel the fatigue setting in. However, my energy returned once I realised that this was the last game of the Premier League Game Week 3.
Okay, so I completed the 25th kilometre. Now there should only be 3 more kilometres left, and the final game that was played, it was Aston Villa against Crystal Palace. Now I know that Crystal Palace won 3-0. Pretty sure gamble that Mateta scored a goal as well, so that's easy. I think both teams though, they're in the lower half of the league, so yeah, that should be fine. Yeah, anyways, I'll go quickly check that and see where the teams are positioned, then I'll get back to you.
And this, my dear viewer, is the face of a broken man. I was so close to getting away with it, but my brain was so fried I was thinking of Aston Villa of last season and not in the relegation zone Villa of this season. And with that being said, you know what's coming. Can you guess what every runner's kryptonite is? Yep, bad running shoes. And that's exactly what I got. Shoes with no cushioning, just pure sole. Shoes that are used at gyms and that have no cushioning whatsoever. And I'm glad the audio cut out because man, I was just throwing a fit. I wanted to stop so badly and just say I'd already completed half of this yesterday and that I could maybe complete the challenge in another way. And you could visibly see this by me throwing the shoes in frustration. But I set out to complete the final kilometers of this challenge. And this was my reaction after just having completed 1 lap wearing the punishment of the law.
That's crazy. These shoes are so painful, it's insane. Oh my god. 5:39 and it felt like I was sprinting. These are horrible.
However, remembering the Goggins quote made me drop down and give 10 push-ups. But after this set, I was so exhausted. I mean, just look at me standing here absolutely messed up. I just couldn't keep going anymore. But I knew the finish line was close by. And so I arrived at kilometer 28 and this was the state that I was in. And to top it all off, I had only 3% battery left on my phone and there was a risk that I wouldn't be able to log and prove that I had completed this challenge with just a kilometer left to go. So after some water, I headed off again to complete the final lap. And I sprinted off, trying to forget all the pain I'd been in and was in. But after a 5-minute and 33-second lap, I had finally arrived and completed the challenge, including the extra kilometers from the previous day. But I did it, and I'll let me in the moment take over these final moments for you.
I just completed it with 2% battery life. Oh my god, I did it. Okay, guys, that was it. That was the challenge of running a kilometer for every goal scored in game week 3 of the Premier League. Make sure to subscribe, and if you want to see more videos like this, yeah, subscribe, hit the like button. Oh, I'm gonna go rest my feet. See you in the next one. Bye.